Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida, a master's degree in education from Armstrong Atlantic State University, and a doctorate in education from Georgia Southern University. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a member of both the American Board of Hypnotherapy and the National Guild of Hypnotists, and I'm president of the American Alliance of Hypnotists. I'm the director of the Steve G. Jones School of Clinical Hypnotherapy. I also serve on the board of directors of the American Lung Association in Los Angeles. I have over 2 decades of experience in hypnotherapy, and I still maintain a busy practice and teaching schedule because I see clients and teach classes worldwide. My client base consists mainly of people who want to lose weight, stop smoking, or gain confidence. Other clients include sales teams interested in boosting motivation and increasing income. Also, singles looking for love, insomniacs desiring proper sleep, and actors desiring more confidence for their next audition. When I travel to see clients and teach hypnotherapy certification classes around the world, I visit such places as Tokyo, Japan, Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, London, England, Montreal, Canada, Los Angeles, California, and New York, just to name a few. By the way, since you have an interest in hypnosis, perhaps you would be interested in becoming a certified clinical hypnotherapist. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com, and click on Hypnosis Classes at the top. You can either train in person or online. After your training, you'll be added to our worldwide directory of certified clinical hypnotherapists, and you'll receive a certificate. I was fortunate for many years to have my office in Beverly Hills, California, where I worked with such wonderful people as Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman, Geraldine Saunders, the writer of The Love Boat, and many other celebrities. I have been interviewed on CNN, Fox News, and appeared on True TV, in addition to having my own hypnosis TV show. With my over 20 years of experience, I'm happy to share with you techniques that I've both developed and learned, which can help you improve your life. I encourage you to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. There you will find my life's work, 22 books on hypnotherapy, over 3,000 hypnosis recordings available as downloadable MP3s or CDs, and these recordings will program your mind to achieve goals in such areas as weight loss, motivation, and stopping smoking. I also have audiobooks, such as this one, where I'm talking with you and sharing with you in a very dynamic way techniques that you can use to improve your life and the way you do things. The reason I'm telling you all of this is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I, your teacher, am very capable, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm also very happy for the opportunity to share this information with you, so rest assured that you're in good hands, and let's have some fun as we now expand your knowledge. I wish you well in all of your endeavors, and please be sure to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and I want to talk to you about the Akashic Record. The Akashic Record is an infinite source of spiritual, mental, and physical knowledge. It is a record of every action, thought, and every word ever spoken. It is a record of every human being, animal, and living thing that has ever existed. It is a privilege to be able to access the Akashic Record, a privilege that is reserved for the few people who are willing to take the necessary steps, to make the necessary efforts, and who are willing to respect every aspect of the Akashic Record. However, anyone can gain access to this information as long as they take all of the necessary precautions and invest the time and energy into following the laws of the record. Now, the Akashic Record is actually made up of a variety of smaller Akashic records. They are records which contain all knowledge of human experience. The records are an endless source of mystical knowledge that exist in a non-physical plane of existence. Many scholars of the Akashic Records compare them to the mind of God, which holds every possibility of the past, present, and future of every being in the universe. God is considered infinite consciousness. The Akashic records can be thought of as the DNA of the universe. By inspecting them closely, one is able to see the very elements of the world. So how does the Akashic record work, with its various Akashic records making it up? Well, the record is a library, or a universal computer. Every aspect of knowledge is accessible if you know where to find it. The library is constantly updated, as it contains every thought and action that has ever taken place by anyone at any point in history. What do the various Akashic records contain? The records contain all possible knowledge. The Akashic records hold the universal mind of the collective subconscious. Everyone has a personal set of Akashic records, which holds every action and thought a person has ever experienced. Each individual's personal set of records is a chapter in the library of the Akashic record. So, what are the Akashic records composed of? The Akashic records are spiritual records. In addition to containing every detail of history, they contain experiences and every detail of transcendental knowledge. The records have a complete history of nature, as they originate in the natural world. The records are impressed on akasha, which is soniferous ether. This material is the primary and principal material of nature, from which earth, air, fire, and water are created. The records are composed of a subatomic energy field of quantum particles and waves of information which course through everything. The Akashic records contain mental energy. The fundamental elements of Earth are the ideas of everyone who has ever lived. Once an idea is created in someone's mind, it continues to exist forever. Being able to look inside the Akashic records is the same experience for the mind as watching a movie. It is a distant image, but you can see every detail. Everyone has what are called imaginal cells attached to their DNA. These imaginal cells are subatomic particles. They hold information of one's self-imposed patterns and behavior and are passed down through generations. These programmed cells determine one's behavioral patterns. Every year around your birthday, all of your imaginal cells reawaken as a group. The goal is to eliminate the bonds between the imaginal cells in order to break free from self-destructive behavior patterns that may have originated with an ancestor, or that you may have acquired in a past life. By accessing the Akashic records, you will be able to access the information stored in the imaginal cells, and use the information to remove anything that is blocking you from making progress in your life. One can access the records only at the highest levels of consciousness. This can be achieved by anyone who is willing to work to achieve such a high level. The ideas in the Akashic records can be accessed through direct cognition, otherwise known as intuition. Intuition allows for direct knowing something immediately, without knowledge being transferred through speech or text. When you hear the voice of your intuition, you have access to the Akashic records. You have knowledge and guidance instantly. Spiritual disciplines can quiet the mind so that you can become a witness to the Akashic records. Yoga is a mental and physical discipline which unites your mental, physical, and verbal activities. You can reach new levels of consciousness by practicing yoga. Pranayama is a breathing exercise that is meant to control your vital life forces by allowing you to concentrate solely on your breathing. Those who practice yoga often incorporate pranayama into their routines to steady their breathing during exercise. Meditation and prayer can also help you to achieve a higher level of consciousness. Incorporating visualization practices along with any of these exercises will help you achieve spiritual consciousness at a level that makes it easy to access the Akashic records. You can also do it through hypnosis. If you'd like more details about learning hypnosis, so that you can access the Akashic record or individual Akashic records, please visit betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Now let's get back to the material. You can also access the record's white light protection. By understanding light language, you can receive the messages of your own Akashic records. Light language allows you to read and write light, and communicate with light at all levels. Light moves at a speed much faster than any other form of communication that we are familiar with. Light language combines physics, sacred geometry, and light. Light language can be learned by openly receiving the messages radiating from a light language teacher's aura. It cannot be taught in isolation. The purpose of light language is to understand how one's thoughts and emotions can affect how we understand reality. You can consolidate your energy by turning every channel of concentration to the third eye. You can begin the process by opening your meditation session with a sacred prayer. You can access Akashic records through astral projection or, as I mentioned, through self-hypnosis. If you're interested in accessing them through astral projection, I invite you to visit astraltravelnow.com so that you can master astral projection. In astral projection, the conscious mind leaves the physical body entirely and moves into the astral body. You remain attached to your physical body through a silver cord as you travel through space. As you travel further along, you can reach the spiritual plane where the Akashic records exist. You can only do so when you have successfully traveled through the metaphysical world. You can access the Akashic records through 3 levels. In level 1, you will learn the soul's purpose and learn more about your own set of Akashic records. In level 2, you can access every possibility of your own past, present, and future. You will be able to learn what exactly is holding you back from achieving your goals in life and release yourself from those limitations and discouraging patterns. You will also be able to make the most of what is useful in your life. You will be able to gain complete clarity in your life through decisions, and you will be able to transform relationships through complete understanding. In level 2, you will be able to access someone else's personal Akashic records, and someone else can access your information. By doing so, you must agree to be in complete service to someone else for this experience, just as they will do the same for you. Having someone else read your records will help you to validate what you have learned about yourself and to track your progress. At level 3, you will be able to find the Amos code, or God's code, to awaken yourself. You will be able to reprogram your subconscious mind. You will learn how to use your physical body to anchor all of the information and energy that you are receiving from the Akashic record. Most importantly, you will be able to have full access to the library of infinite information that forms the complete Akashic record. You can begin by focusing on a specific event, even if you were not there. Perhaps a meeting where you were not present, or even an event that took place before you were born. You should drift into a dreamlike state where you can imagine the scene in detail. Once the experience is over, you can check the facts about the events that occurred. You can also access information about your near future and see how accurate you're able to read the records. Understand that you can use hypnosis or astral projection to do this, but they're not necessary. You can simply quiet your mind and practice meditation and be able to access the Akashic records. Let's take a look at why it's important to access the Akashic record. Reading the Akashic record gives accountability on a human level and divine accountability as well. Perhaps what is holding you back in life now is a vow that you have made in a previous life, but you are not aware of the lasting consequences. The process of accessing the Akashic record allows for ancestral healing and will help every soul move forward. The memory of Mercury is a living trial balance that follows you for your entire life. When you die, the Akashic records, in order to verify the memory of Mercury, then act to determine what will happen to you in subsequent lives, balancing your karmic debt. So realize that you write your running balance for your life through every single interaction, thought, and deed. Therefore, you are ultimately in charge of your own karmic balance. The Akashic records will give you every insight into the consequences of your decisions in the future. You will be able to visualize the outcome of every possibility in your future. When learning to read the Akashic record, it's important to be able to visualize. So I want to talk to you now about creative visualization. Now, your imagination is your most powerful resource. No matter what your circumstances are, your mind has limitless capabilities and endless possibilities. And you can use this to your full advantage. You can allow your imagination to lead your body, your actions, your decisions, and your future. By utilizing creative visualization, you can reveal the possibilities of your future. Once you can see the possibilities in your imagination, you can make them a reality through your actions and you can accomplish things at a greater level. So let's look at creative visualization in sports. Athletes commonly use creative visualization as affirmations. It is very common practice to have athletes imagine themselves executing routines that they often have trouble with. It has been shown to be a very effective tool for overcoming obstacles in athletic performance. By imagining a successful execution, the body physically responds to this new possibility. Studies also show that when you imagine something, there is a signal sent to that part of your body. So let's say, for example, that you're a professional baseball player, and I've had the honor of working with professional baseball players to help enhance the quality of their game through hypnosis. When you imagine yourself swinging at the ball, your brain actually sends nerve impulses to the muscles involved with swinging that bat. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to swing the bat when you imagine it, but you do get a form of credit for imagining it. You get credit toward another practice. So you can practice physically, but you can also practice in your imagination. It's not quite as powerful as practicing physically in terms of training the muscles to do what they're supposed to do, but it can be infinitely more powerful to practice in your imagination when it comes to the mental advantage that you will gain. Because when you imagine swinging a bat in your mind, you can imagine it happening perfectly. You're actually training your mind and training your body to swing that bat perfectly at the ball. So the old saying is practice makes perfect. The new saying is perfect practice makes perfect. If you can practice in your mind doing it perfectly, you can translate this energy onto the field. So when an athlete imagines performing their job perfectly, the mind is expanded due to the imagination, and the mind now accepts this perfect execution as a reality. Suddenly, the athlete is capable of performing at a higher level. This is considered an integral aspect of sports medicine and training, by the way, guided imagery. So, for example, when an athlete is recovering from a sports injury, they can imagine themselves doing what they used to do, and that can help pull them toward getting back to the top of their game. So after a shoulder injury, for example, a football player who's a quarterback can imagine himself throwing like he used to throw. A runner who has had a knee injury can imagine herself running like she used to run. This actually speeds up the recovery process. So never underestimate the power of visualization. Always use it whenever you can to get yourself to the next level, or if you've taken a step backwards, to get yourself back to where you were, imagining yourself doing whatever you do perfectly. Perhaps one of the most strikingly powerful uses of visualization is in the realm of creativity. Now, if you imagine great books or great pieces of art or great movies or great stories or great sculptures, you have to realize that that started in someone's mind. It didn't start out the way that you see it. It started as just an idea. Maybe the creator of it saw something or heard something that made him or her think about something that could be done with it, and then other ideas were brought in and it became more and more elaborate. But every book, every movie, every story, every statue, every building, everything that you see that's been created by someone or a team of people started as just an idea. And they had to use creative visualization to get it from the point of just an idea to actually existing in reality. So creative visualization can actually be a tremendous tool in getting you from your initial idea to having something out there that everyone can enjoy. It's also possible to visualize and control your emotions. So if you're not in a moving vehicle, you can go ahead and perform this exercise. What does anger look like when you close your eyes? Go ahead and close your eyes right now and imagine what anger looks like. Go ahead and do this now as I am silent. Okay, good. Now, what did you see? What did you see when you imagined anger? When I did it just a moment ago while you were doing it, I saw a red ball. That for me was anger. That was my visualization of anger. Now, whatever you saw was your individual vision, and that's fine for you. There's no right or wrong way to see it. There's no universal vision of anger. It's just whatever you saw is fine with you. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes again, and this time I want you to see your vision of anger, whatever it was, becoming more calm. So what happens when it becomes tranquil? Just imagine it now. Imagine visually seeing it with your eyes closed, visually seeing your anger, and see it changing into tranquility or peacefulness. Go ahead and imagine that now as I'm silent. Okay, good. Now, what happened for you? Hopefully, something amazing happened. Hopefully, as you were seeing that vision, it changed the way you felt. For me, I saw a red ball for anger. It looked kind of like the sun. And then when I imagined tranquility coming in, it was blue water that was washing over it and making it melt. So eventually, over the brief time that I was quiet and thinking about that, the red ball that looked like the sun kind of melted into the blue water. So now I want you to work with that picture again, and I want you to make it more relaxing. You've already taken it from angry to tranquil. Now I want you to make it more relaxing, even more relaxing. Do this now as I'm silent. Okay. So hopefully, again, something amazing happened. Remember, initially my anger was a red ball, kind of like the sun. And then when tranquility came in, it was like blue water, kind of washing over it and kind of melting it away. And then it dissolved into the blue water. Then when I imagined more relaxation, that blue water became very calm. And I could see a lot of it. I could see it as far as my eye could see. It kind of disappeared over the horizon, like looking out over a calm ocean. And as I was doing that, something happened within my body. Something happened physiologically. I became more relaxed. So I started with creating anger. I created anger in myself by imagining that red ball, and then I moved it to tranquility and then greater relaxation. So that didn't actually take a lot of time, and the rewards can be tremendous. You can take yourself through visualization from actually being angry to being very relaxed. Let's try another exercise. I want you to imagine sadness. If you're not driving, close your eyes. Just imagine sadness. Imagine what it would look like visually with your eyes closed. Imagine sadness. Good. Now, when I imagined sadness, I imagined raindrops, big raindrops that look kind of like cartoon raindrops, like an almond shape, dropping from the sky. And each raindrop was about 2 inches tall and maybe a ½ inch wide. And they were dropping from the sky. And they were clear. That's what I saw when I saw sadness, and it made me feel sad. Okay, now what I want you to do is close your eyes again as I'm silent and imagine happiness. Imagine happiness changing that picture. So whatever picture you saw, whatever you saw in your mind, happiness is coming in now, and it's changing that picture. Do this now as I'm silent. Okay, now what did you see? What I saw was the yellow smiley face with the black eyes and a black nose and a black mouth, kind of the stereotypical smiley face, moving in from right to left across my visual field, just a big happy circle, big yellow circle with a smiley face on it, moving in. And as it did, it pushed those raindrops out of the way until all I saw was that big happy smiley face. So that's what happened for me. And as that happened, I felt myself, my emotions going from sad to happy. And all that happened in a relatively short period of time. Hopefully you had a similar experience, because what we see can dictate what we feel. So you realize now the power of creative visualization. Make sure that when you visualize things, when you imagine things in your mind, they're things that you want to feel in your body, because that's how powerful this is. Let's take a little break now. I want to make sure that you're with me, that you're paying attention and that you're learning something. So what I want you to do right now is, if you're driving and you can pull over, go ahead and do that. If you're not driving, then you can definitely do this. You can take out a piece of paper and you can write down 5 things that you've learned so far from what I've said. 5 things that resonated with you. Now, I want you to keep in mind, they don't even have to be 5 things that I said. Maybe you got some good ideas from what I said. Maybe I said something and your brain took it and blew it up 1,000,000 times and came up with all kinds of wonderful, amazing possibilities based on what I said. If that's the case, then feel free to write that down. I just want you to write down 5 things, whether they came from me or they're just thoughts that came in your head. 5 things that have come to you so far, either from me saying them or from you thinking them, as a result of listening to this program so far. So as I'm silent, I'm going to give you ample time now. I want you to write down 5 things, 5 thoughts that you have as a result of listening to this program so far. Do this now.